Welcome everyone in the Paddock community to round 6 of the Paddock the Goals flood recovery series, brought to you by the Paddock Shire Council in partnership today with Women Leading Locally, clinical psychologist David Younger, DCRIS Donald, North Central Football League, and with the funding support from the state and federal government community recovery program coordinated by that amazing team at Emergency Recovery Victoria. My name's Travis Fitzgibbon. I'm the Director of Community Development at Paddock Shire Council, and I'll be your host for this episode of the Paddock the Goals. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands from which we are broadcasting today and extend our respects to elders past, present and emerging. This round, we'll be looking at taking on challenges and leading by example. Our discussions also aim to improve our understanding of the October 2022 flood event, document lessons learned, and emphasise the role of local activities and organisations play in promoting community connections. You can listen from your car at the North Central Footy League today. Hopefully you're enjoying some football, netball or hockey. And if you're not a footy fan, of course, you're probably tuning in from your couch wherever you like to consume your podcasts. This month, we're celebrating Disability Pride Month. On Tuesday, our tremendous Manager of Community Services, Jenna Allen, coordinated an event in Donald to celebrate the month. There was an amazing lunch, and those who attended really learned a lot about inclusive opportunities in Paddock. Guest speakers included Rhonda Allen, who's the Project Officer at Mallee Sports Assembly, and she spoke about sports activities, inclusions in our own coordinated area. And we also had our Coordinator of Project Delivery here at Paddock Shire Council, Trevor Rumbold, speak about the Play Spaces projects that are underway in Paddock Shire this week at 4 amazing new play spaces and upgrades to footpaths and an upgrade to restroom facilities at Donald as well. To talk about the importance of disability inclusion in decision-making, we're joined today by Naomi Mills, Education Administrator at DCIRS Community Care, and local resident Jeanette Wood. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to have you along to the Paddock the Goals. Naomi, we're reviewing the ways we can improve communications and access for those living with disabilities post the October 2022 floods. What are some of the issues that this has raised for your team?
There were probably two major issues that it raised. The first one being lack of emergency housing. Especially accessible emergency housing. If somebody required somewhere to go immediately, there's just nothing available. And the other one, the difficulty in providing supports, because we don't just support Donald. Obviously, we go far and wide. We're as far out as Horsham, Nil, and with the road closures, that caused a few issues with actually being able to access the participant, and just being able to continue providing these vital supports for people who really need them. That's definitely an issue that was raised during the floods for us, yeah.
Let's hope we can continue to advocate to address some of those housing needs, particularly on the back of the announcement of the Commonwealth Games and the $2 billion of funding that will flow from that. We'll continue to advocate at Paddock Shire Council for our share of that. Jeanette, how do you prefer to find out about what's going on in your community of Donald? Do you look in the paper, read letters, emails? Do you prefer a phone call? Or would you rather find out from a trusted source like Naomi?
Yes, but I also get text messages on my phone about certain things. That's how I could keep up with the flooding, because it come on my mobile phone, and I get messages from the power core people as well. So,
is that your preferred method?
Yes, it would be nicer that way. I can got it in my phone and I won't forget things. I have a bad memory.
So when you've got your information and you're preparing for the floods like last year, what were your concerns as a resident of Donald? You had the information, you knew what to expect. What were your concerns?
Mainly, where would I go if I had to go? Like, I've got a car, and I just need to have somewhere that I could go that wasn't flooded, because I've got 2 dogs and they're like emotional support dogs, and they're my main concern. And how would I go about getting somewhere with them? Because I find it hard to try and get one of them into the car.
I understand. We have a fox terrier that does not like getting in the car and one that loves it, so I can empathise with that. Naomi, when we're faced with these situations, getting information to those in our community who are most vulnerable and providing the necessary supports is crucial. How did your team manage this process, and what could be improved, and what can council help with?
So for us, mainly by phone, phone calls to our participants, text messages, word of mouth when our support workers are out attending their regular shifts. We try to avoid we understand for our participants what their preferred methods are. So we follow through with that as best as we can as well. So there's some that prefer emails, just whatever they've preferred, we'll get the information out to them. We just did our best to prioritise for those with the higher needs, people who actually needed the supports to have their daily functions. And I think one of the biggest things would be networking, like community organisations being linked in together so that we can access information as quickly as possible and get that out there, since we have, personal contact information for quite a number of these people in the community.
Well, excellent. Now, Jeanette, what are some of the activities you're involved with in the community? What are some of your interests and passions? We've already heard about your two dogs. What else are you passionate about?
I go to another little group twice a week, and my passionate concerns are animals, obviously.
Are there other things that you'd like to be able to do and like to have available in Donald?
You did bring up a good point earlier, that if there was more regular community meetings from the council asking the community members these sorts of questions, people being able to get out there and have their say. That's something that you mentioned would be a good thing for the community, and she'd attend things like that. And things that she mentioned she enjoys doing were just going out to, so there was recently a Bee Gees revival sort of thing over in St Arnaud, just community events that sort of engage you in some fun activities.
Yeah, great. And the council will continue to give resources to our Disability Action Support Network as well, and engage as much as we can through that network as well. So we'll continue to work hard in this space. Naomi, what are some of the challenges in providing disability support services in rural communities, considering those with visible and non-visible disability?
I think really the main one is the limited resources. We're in a small community, there's not a lot of accessibility for the things we've already spoken about, the activities and events, stuff like that. Yeah.
Are there some other areas you'd like to see some increased investment in, just to create that better connection?
Well, definitely community events. Something a little more regular would be great for people to just get out of the house and socialise and be part of the community. And one that's recently started up, the Good Feed. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Investing into things like that, because that's been really fantastic for a lot of our participants and just the community in general.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous community-driven initiative, and council are looking to get behind them as well to help support some space for that to be delivered. So Donald residents, look out for some news around that in the coming weeks. What about you, Jeanette? Would you like to see some more community events, and that's where you'd like to see the most investment go?
The Good Feed is a very good scheme. I go there and we all have such a fun time, like talking and eating and that. And obviously there needs to be a little bit more funding for activities for people, not just us, the general community as well.
Thank you both so much for spending some time with us, Naomi and Jeanette. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you both, and thanks for for giving your time for the Paddock the Goals this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Have a good day.